tell you the story. Once, not too long ago, I used to be known as Captain Luckyfoot. But then, we were attacked by a creature straight from the depths of hell. We call it Kuma. It's a great sea serpent mixed with a sort of gator creature. It's a gator shark. I don't know why I said the rest of the description. It's a gator shark. Leapt onto our boat, bit off me lucky leg, and jumped right back into the waters to feast on it.
A gator shark. Whoa.
Yes, quite a creature, a dangerous creature, to be exact. And it's somewhere out there. I'll find it one of these days. But for now, we're headed to Yu Dao to get some treasure, eh? I mean, it wasn't really a question, but...
Yar.
Yeah. Yar. There you go.